Good morning. I'd like to read an opening statement. This is to advise the general public that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled Senator Byron M. Bear Open Public Meeting Act, New Jersey Casino Control Commission on December 9, 2020, filed with the Secretary of State at the State House in Trenton an annual meeting schedule. On December 9, 2020, copies were mailed to subscribers. Any member of the public who wishes to address the commission will be given an opportunity to do so before the commission adjourns for the day. Please acknowledge the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome everyone who is joining us remotely today. As a measure to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and to protect the health and safety of meeting participants, as well as the members of the public interested in the meeting, the Commission is continuing to use remote collaboration technology for meeting participants. The public is able to listen through access provided on the Commission's website, as well as through our YouTube channel. We will accept public comments via email. Public comments can be sent to public.comments@ccc.state.nj.us. I will repeat that. Public comments can be sent to public.comments@ccc.state.nj.us, beginning now and any time throughout the meeting, ending at the time of adjournment. This meeting is being transcribed as well as recorded, and minutes will be available on our website in due course. To meeting participants, I ask that you follow the instructions provided with the web link or audio call-in code and place your phones on mute until your matter is called. Also, please remember to identify yourself before speaking. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Vice Chair Cooper, Commissioners. Please answer your name when I call for the record, please. Commissioner Molyneux?
Present.
Vice Chair Cooper?
Present.
And Chairman Pelosi.
Present.
Matters discussed in closed session this morning included approval of the October 13, 2021 closed session minutes, approval of the October 13, 2021 executive session minutes, review of litigation in the matter of Torres versus City of Atlantic City and Casino Control Commission, approval of the hiring of Queen Harvey to the position of licensing analyst, program client compliance and support specialist 2. The first matter for your consideration is the ratification of the minutes of October 13, 2021 through October 14, 2021 public meeting.
Are there any questions for council or corrections? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to ratify the minutes of October 13th and 14th, 2021.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you. Excuse me. Item number 2, applications for initial casino key employee licenses and/or for qualification. They include Kevin P. Coulter, Kelly S. Great, also known as Kelly S. Marsh, John R. Howard III, Casey L. Kenny Erdman, Dennis Ricci, Aaron Woodall, and the matter of 2G Kenya Evans has been adjourned to the next public meeting. Aaron Woodall will be called separately as a key qualifier. The remaining matters identified have been reviewed by the division as well as staff, and there is a recommendation that they be granted their initial casino key employee licenses.
Are there any questions regarding these matters? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the 5 initial casino key employee licenses.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Aaron Woodall, that matter has been reviewed as well. Division has reported positively. Staff has reviewed and recommend that you grant his initial casino key employee license.
Are there any questions regarding this matter?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Mr. Woodall was a recommendation to a remand. I'm sorry, I was thinking about Mr. Riven.
Okay, thank
Mr.
you.
Woodall is a recommendation to remand to the conference process, and we do recommend that you take that action.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding this matter?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to remand for a hearing the initial casino key employee license application of Aaron Woodall.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, thank you, and I apologize for the confusion. Item number 3 are applications for resubmitted casino key employee licenses and/or for qualification. They include Heather M. Allen, Anthony M. Ashman, Linda A. Cummings, also known as Linda A. O'Donnell, Robert H. Deisler, Charles D. Evans, Jr., Elaine Fable, also known as Elaine Bradley, John W. Fox, Jr., Robert D. Haynes, Lynn W. Giuliano, also known as Lynn P. Giuliano, also known as Lynn P. Webster, Harry S. Clace, Jr., Annabelle Lynn, also known as Annabelle Montemayor, Donna M. Martin, Renee D. Wilson, also known as Renee D. Dent, Crystal D. Patel, also known as Crystal D. Hummel, Michael A. Petta, Tammy L. Powell, also known as Tammy L. Cross, Alan Riven, Joanne Sullivan, also known as Joanne Sullivan, Joanne Wharton, Joanne Shea, and Joanne Zoda, also known as Joanne Mercurio. The matter of Alan Riven will be called separately, as he is a key qualifier vote. The remaining resubmissions have been reviewed by the division, reported positively with respect to each. Staff has reviewed as well and recommended that those resubmissions be granted.
Are there any questions for council?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the 18 resubmitted casino key employee licenses.
Are there any other questions on this matter? Hearing none, is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Now, Alan J. Riven, again, he's the key submission with qualifier, and again, there's no objection to your granting of his resubmission and qualification.
Are there any questions on this matter?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant resubmitted key license and qualification.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper, and Chairman Pelosi. Thank you. Item number 4 are approvals through delegation of authority between October 6, 2021 and November 2, 2021 pursuant to resolution number 1701-1111C. Patrick Eeler, licensing manager, will review those matters with you for your information. However, no action is required.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. This is Patrick Eeler, Casino Control Commission Licensing and Financial Evaluation Manager. Between October 6th and November 2nd, 2021, the staff of the Commission's Regulatory Affairs Division granted the following approvals via its delegated authority. On October 6, 2021, The temporary key employee license was granted to Gina Gonzalez Negrampa for a race book supervisor position at Borgata, and to Stephanie Noonan for a dual rate sportsbook ticket writer / supervisor position at Resorts Atlantic City. On October 7th, 2021, a temporary key employee license was granted to Manuel D. Mendoza Mejia for a dual rate surveillance supervisor position at Tropicana Atlantic City. On October 19, 2021, temporary casino key employee licenses were granted to Andrew T. Eggett for a security shift supervisor position, and to Stephanie G. Torres Diaz for a dual rate sportsbook ticket writer / supervisor position, both at Resorts Atlantic City, and to Mario B. Gonzalez for an assistant casino shift manager position at Harrah's Atlantic City, and to Juan C. Mendez for an assistant security shift manager position at Borgata. On October 20, 2021, a temporary casino key employee license was granted to Tracy S. Taylor for an assistant security shift manager position at Borgata. On October 22, 2021, the temporary key employee license was granted to Kevin M. Smith for a poker shift manager position at Tropicana Atlantic City. On October 25, 2021, temporary casino key employee licenses were granted to Than K. Ann, Tyrone Braithwaite, Philip C. King, and Michael Scafario for table games floor manager positions, Joseph D. Beard III for an assistant security shift manager position, and to Rakesh Islania for an associate surveillance shift manager position, all of these for positions at Borgata, and to Tommy J. Barry for a dual rate assistant casino shift manager position at Harrah's Atlantic City. And finally, on October 28, 2021, temporary casino key employee licenses were granted to Craig M. Fragapane, Hyahana D. Nguyen, Yvette T. Nguyen for table games floor manager positions at Borgata, and to Jennifer Tran for a dual rate assistant casino shift manager position at Harrah's Atlantic City. This shall memorialize the noted approvals that were granted by delegated authority during this period, and no further commission action is required. Thank you.
Item number 5, request for inactivation of casino key employee licenses. Again, I defer to Patrick Eeler to review those matters with you.
Thank you, Patrick Keeler. In lieu of filing a casino key employee license review application, the following 4 individuals have requested to be placed on a casino key employee approved inactive list for a period of up to 5 years. They are Blaise Catania, Barbara H. Glutz, Harshad Patel, and Liliana M. Vargas. Commission staff has reviewed these requests and recommends that you grant the requested relief.
Are there any questions on any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the requested relief and order that the 4 casino key employee licenses be inactivated.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is consideration of the lapsing of casino key employee licenses. Again, Patrick Eeler will address those matters.
Hello again, this is Patrick Eeler. At this time, there are 3 individuals for your consideration to lapse their casino key employee license. In these cases, the casino key employee license review application filing deadline has passed, and the individual has not filed a casino key employee license review application or requested to be placed on the approved inactive list. Based on these facts, staff recommends that the casino key employee licenses of Danielle R. Miller, Tracy S. Osterloo Sampson, and Louise Prang be deemed to have lapsed.
Are there any questions on any of these matters?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to find that the 3 casino key employee licenses lapsed pursuant to NJAC 19:41A-6.1F of the regulations.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 7 is the petition of Tropicana Atlantic City Corp., doing business as Tropicana Atlantic City, for the issuance of a temporary casino key employee license to Thomas Casella pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E, and to permit him to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Vice President of Security pending plenary qualification. Senior Counsel Teresa Pimpinelli will review that matter with you for consideration.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Teresa Pimpinelli, Senior Counsel, appearing on behalf of the Commission. For your consideration is the temporary qualification and temporary casino key employee licensure of Thomas Casella. It would permit him to serve as Vice President of Security for Trop AC pending his plenary qualification. You have staff memo and recommendation for this matter. A draft resolution was circulated to the parties, and I would just ask Council now to enter their appearances for the records and proceed.
Good morning, Beth Sacco, Vice President and Chief Counsel, Regional Operations, Caesars Entertainment. Good morning, Chairman, Vice Chair Cooper, and Commissioner Molyneux. This is a petition on behalf of Tropicana Atlantic City for the issuance of a temporary key employee license, as well as temporary qualification for Thomas Casella to assume the position of Vice President of Security for Tropicana Atlantic City. We have reviewed the division's letter as well as the draft resolution, and we would respectfully request that the relief of the petition be granted. We have no objection to the form of the resolution and request that it be entered. Should you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Counsel. Division?
I think you're on mute.
Is Mr. Martin on the phone?
I see him, but I can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Maybe you need to turn your mic up, Connor,
Okay.
or get a little closer to your speaker.
Is better?
There we go. Now we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Apologies.
No problem.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Connor Martin, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. We emailed the Commission on October 28, 2021, stating that the Division does not object to the issuance of a temporary casino key employee license and qualification for Thomas Casella to assume the duties and perform the functions of Vice President of Security for Tropicana Atlantic City. We have also reviewed the draft resolution and have no objection. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Counsel? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the petition and issue a temporary casino key employee license to Thomas Casella pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89A and NJSA 19:41A-5.3D, and permit him to assume the duties and exercise the powers of Vice President of Security for Tropicana Atlantic City Corp., pending plenary qualification in accordance with the conditions contained in NJSA 5:12-85.1, NJSA 5:12-89, and NJAC 13:69C-2.6.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 8 is consideration of the plenary qualification of Gene P. Lee to serve as Senior Vice President of Strategic Analytics for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. This matter was originally brought to your attention by a petition that was filed on March 15, 2021, seeking the requested temporary qualification to serve in the capacity identified. You considered the matter at your April 14, 2021 meeting and granted Mr. Lee's temporary qualification. Now before you is his plenary qualification for your consideration, and we have same counsel, so I would ask that they enter their appearances and proceed.
Good morning again, Beth Sacco, Vice President, Chief Counsel, Regional Operations, Caesars Entertainment. Again, this is a resolution, we've reviewed it. It's for the plenary qualification of Gene P. Lee to serve as the Senior Vice President of Strategic Analytics for Caesars Entertainment. We have reviewed the draft resolution and we have no objection, and we would respectfully request that the resolution be entered. Thank you.
Thank you. Division?
Good morning, Connor Martin, Deputy Attorney General for the Division of Gaming Enforcement. We filed a plenary report on October 28th recommending the plenary qualification of Gene Lee to serve as Senior Vice President of Strategic Analytics for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. We have also reviewed the draft resolution and have no objection. Thank you.
Are there any questions for counsel?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and find Gene P. Lee qualified to serve as Senior Vice President of Strategic Analytics for Caesars Entertainment, Inc. in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1C, NJSA 5:12-89B1 and 2, and NJAC 13:69C-2.7.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper, and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 9 is the amended petition of MGA Gaming, New Jersey LLC, and DGMB Casino LLC for the issuance of a temporary casino key employee license to Jody Madigan pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E, and a waiver of the residency requirement pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89B4. This matter was initiated by a petition that was filed on October 1, 2021, subsequently amended by letter request to include DGMB Casino LLC as a joint petitioner. The request is for, as indicated, the temporary casino key employee license for Mr. Madigan in his capacity as the designee pursuant to the management agreement with MGA Gaming, New Jersey, and DGMB Casino doing business as resorts. Council is here, and I would ask that they enter their appearances and proceed.
Yes, good morning, Chair, Commissioners. Lynn Kaufman for MGA Gaming, and Nick Moles will not be appearing, but he concurs with my presentation. As the Commissioners know, Jody Madigan has recently been appointed Chief Operating Officer of Mohegan Gaming and Entertainment, the parent company of MGA Gaming. which, as was noted, performs management services for Resorts Casino. In connection with his position as Chief Operating Officer of Mohegan Gaming and Entertainment, he is also the president of MGA Gaming, a position which requires a key license, which we're asking for a temporary license for, and as such, a residency waiver in view of his duties in connection with the parent company. We have reviewed the division's report and the commission draft resolution. We have no objections, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you. We being me and Mr. Moles.
Division?
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Jocelyn Fedowitz, Deputy Attorney General for the Division of Gaming Enforcement. We filed a response on October 21st, 2021, with no objection to the request for a temporary casino key employee license for Jody Madigan as President of MGA Gaming and Chief Operating Officer of Mohegan Tribal Gaming Authority. We also did not file an objection to the waiver of the residency requirement, and we have reviewed the draft resolution and submitted a request for a minor change for consideration, but otherwise we have no objection to it. Thank you.
Are there any questions for council?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the joint petition and issue a temporary casino key employee license to Jody Madigan pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E and NJSA 19:41A-5.3, and grant the petitioner's request to waive the residency requirement as provided for in NJSA 5:12-89B4.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, council.
Item number 10 is consideration of the temporary or plenary qualification of Michael A. Fedorko to serve as a member of the Audit Committee of Boardwalk 1000 LLC and HR Atlantic City LLC. This matter was initiated by a petition that was filed on October 15, 2021, seeking Mr. Fedorko's temporary or plenary qualification. The division has reported on his plenary qualification, and accordingly, that request is before you for his plenary qualification. Council is here, and I ask that they, with your pleasure, Mr. Chairman, enter their appearances and proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Kim Harrison from Fox Rothschild appearing on behalf of Boardwalk 1000 LLC and HR Atlantic City LLC. As General Counsel Fauntleroy had just stated, the Division of Gaming Enforcement has issued a report on Mr. Fedorko. We have received and I have reviewed the report, and we find it satisfactory in form and substance. And at this time, we ask that he be found plenary qualified. Thank you.
Thank you. Division?
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Deputy Attorney General Jordan Hollander on behalf of the Division of Gaming Enforcement. You have our report dated October 28, 2021, recommending Mr. Fedorko's plenary qualification to serve on the audit committees of Boardwalk 1000 and HR Atlantic City. The division has also reviewed the draft resolution and has no objections. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any questions for council? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the draft resolution and find Michael A. Fedorko qualified to serve as a member of the Audit Committee of Boardwalk 1000 LLC and HR Atlantic City LLC in accordance with NJSA 5:12-85.1, NJSA 5:12-89B1 and 2, and NJAC 13:69C-2.6.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Molyneux?
Yes.
Vice Chair Cooper,
Yes.
and Chairman Pelosi.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 11 is the joint petition of OCRM LLC and AC Ocean Walk LLC, doing business as Ocean Casino Resort, for the issuance of temporary casino key employee licenses to Bruce Dahl and John Polachicchio pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E, and waivers of the residency requirement pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89B4. This matter was initiated for your consideration by a petition filed on November 3, 2021, seeking the temporary casino key employee licenses and residency waivers for Mr. Dahl and Mr. Polachicchio in order to permit them to serve in the capacities indicated pursuant to their roles with OCRM, which has an approved management agreement with AC Ocean Walk. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, council is here, and I would ask that they address the matter after entering their appearances.
Certainly, Lynn Kaufman again, Cooper Levinson for OCRM.
Good morning.
OCR Investment, OCRM and OCR Investment.
And good morning. This is Holly Eicher from Blank Rome, representing AC Ocean Walk as a joint petitioner in the matter.
Thank you, Chair Commissioners. As General Counsel Fauntleroy mentioned, OCRM will be entering into a management agreement that has been approved by the Commission in connection with the purchase by OCR Investment of 50% of the upcoming purchase of Ocean Casino and Resort. Mr. Dahl and Mr. Polachicchio have been temporarily qualified in connection with OCR Investment, and today we're seeking their temporary key licensure as is required under the management agreement and a residency waiver, as their other positions require them to be outside of Atlantic City. Thank you.
Thank you.
And again, this is Holly Eicher representing AC Ocean Walk LLC as a joint petitioner. We have reviewed the draft resolution and we have no objection thereto, and we concur with the requests and the petition and respectfully request that the requested relief be granted.
And I also have reviewed the draft resolution and concur that we ask for the relief to be granted and have no objections to the draft resolution. Thank you.
Division.
Morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Sarah Ben David, Deputy Attorney General on behalf of the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement. As indicated by Ms. Kaufman, the persons before you today are Bruce Dahl and John Polachicchio, who were temp qualified at the last public meeting. The division advised on November 8th, 2021, that it has no objection to the issuance of temporary casino key employee licenses to both individuals and no objection to waiver of the residency requirement. I reviewed the draft resolution and have no objection. Thank you.
Are there any questions for counsel?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the joint petition and issue temporary casino employee licenses to Bruce Dahl and John Polachicchio pursuant to NJSA 5:12-89E and NJSA 19:41A-5.3, and grant the petitioner's request to waive the residency requirement as provided for in NJSA 5:12-89B4.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, councils.
Thank you.
Item number 12 is the joint petition of MGM Lease LLC, MGP Lessor LLC, and Marina District Development Company LLC for approval of an amended and restated master lease and amended sublease related to Marina District Development Company LLC. This matter was initiated by a joint petition filed October 4, 2021 between MGM Lessee LLC, MGP Lessor LLC, and Marina District Development Company LLC doing business as Borgata, seeking approval of the amended and restated master lease and amended sublease in connection with a master transaction agreement between Vici and MGM and MGP. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, council is present, and I would ask that they enter appearances and proceed.
Good morning, Chair Pelosi, Vice Chair Cooper, and Member Malino. Pat Madamba, Senior Vice President and Legal Counsel, MGM Resorts International. On behalf of MGM Resorts International, MGM Growth Properties, LLC, and Marina District Development Company, LLC. I'd like to first frame the issue before the Commission today, and then step back and provide what will hopefully be a bit of context to assist you with the matter. Before you today is a request to approve amended and restated master lease between MGP Lessor LLC as a master landlord and MGM Lessee LLC as the master tenant, and also to approve an amended operating sublease between MGM Lessee LLC and Marina District Development Company LLC. That sublease is for the land, building fixtures, other improvements that comprise what we know as the Borgata Casino Hotel facility. The original master lease and the operating sublease were previously approved by the Commission. They were approved in July of 2016. For leases, as the Commission knows, for leases with respect to casino hotel facilities, the Casino Control Act, and particularly sections 82C5, C10, and 104B, have particular provisions that must require particular provisions that must be in a lease of a casino facility. A buyout provision, joint and several liability provisions, and a termination provision. In 2016, the Commission found that the master lease and the operating sublease complied with the Casino Control Act's requirements. We submit that the amended and restated master lease and the amended operating sublease that have been filed with the Commission or the subject of the petition continue to comply with the Casino Control Act as requirements. The joint and several liability provision and the termination provision are unchanged from that which the Casino Control Commission has previously approved. The buyout provision is only slightly amended. So substantively, as a practical matter, there's really just a narrow legal issue other than besides the general approval of the master lease, approval of the sublease. It's really a narrow legal issue, which is whether or not the buyout provision that has been slightly amended, whether it continues to comply with the Casino Control Act. We believe that it does. But I wanted to step back for a moment and give you a bit of context as to how we got before the Commission today and our requirement that we need to amend the master lease and amend the operating sublease. As the Commission is aware, MGM Resorts International is a qualified holding company, Marina District Development Company. It is a rather large New York Stock Exchange listed publicly traded gaming and entertainment company. It's one of the world's largest gaming and entertainment companies. We operate in 8 states. We own some of the most well-known casino assets in the world, Bellagio, MGM Grand, Mirage, City Center, for example. In New Jersey, we operate through Marina District Development Company, the Borgata Hotel and Casino Spa, which since opening has been the AC Atlantic City Casino Markets leader. MGM Growth Properties, LLC, is a separate company from MGM Resorts International. It is a New York Stock Exchange listed, publicly traded REIT. MGP is currently owned approximately 60% by public shareholders and 40% by MGM. However, MGP is currently controlled by MGM. The lease for Borgata's real estate assets provide that MDCC, not MGP, has the right to use and possess those assets without interference from MGP Lessor LLC, which is a subsidiary of MGM Growth Properties LLC. In fact, the master landlord is expressly precluded from participating in the conduct of operations of Marina District Development Company or any of MGM's other operating subsidiaries that MGP Lessor owns the real estate related assets. In August of this year, we, MGM Resorts International, MGM Growth Properties LLC, and Vici all announced that we had entered into a transaction whereby MGP Growth Properties LLC would be merged into a subsidiary of Vici. Vici is acquiring MGM Growth Properties for approximately $17 billion. That transaction is expected to close sometime in the first half of 2022. Vici, like MGP, is a New York Stock Exchange publicly traded REIT. As is the case with MGM Growth Properties, Vici is engaged in the passively owning gaming, hospitality, and entertainment destinations, subject to long-term triple net leases, pursuant to which Vici subsidiaries are passive landlords. The transaction where MGM Growth Properties LLC is being merged into Vici, I've called it with other regulatory agencies that we've already appeared before, as I call it the big slide, because MGM Growth Properties LLC sits on top of a number of subsidiaries underneath it. That chain will stay intact. We're literally just taking MGM Growth Properties LLC and sliding that over. The parent company, the New York Stock Exchange listed company, will merge into a subsidiary of Vici, but all of the other subsidiaries in MGM Growth Properties LLC chain of ownership will survive. So I call it the big slide. And the reason I call it the big slide is because on the operating side of the equation, the MGM Resorts International ownership side of the equation, nothing really changes. MGM continues to own Marina District Development Company. Marina District Development Company remains the operator of the Borgata facility. Marina District Development Company continues to hold the casino license. And then interestingly enough, because it's the big slide, MGP Lessor LLC, the current master landlord, continues to be the master landlord. There's no change in the master landlord. Rather than sitting ultimately under MGM Growth Properties LLC, which essentially disappears in the merger, it will sit under Vici, but the master landlord nonetheless doesn't change. The master lease remains in place as well, which is why we're asking not for approval of a new lease, but for approval of amended and restated lease. And the only difference is that ultimately at the top, rather than MGP Growth Properties LLC, and then its control shareholder, MGM Resorts International, sitting there at the top, Vici sits there in the top. But nevertheless, MGP Lessor LLC, the landlord, remains in place. MGM Lessee LLC, which is a wholly owned direct subsidiary of MGM Resorts International, remains in place as well. It's the master tenant under the lease today. After the closing, it will continue to be the master tenant. The master lease continues to be a triple net lease, meaning we have a passive landlord. Now we'll have a passive landlord after the transaction, and that landlord is the one and the same. Frankly, if you look at the transaction, the only practical difference is that the rent check is no longer going to go to a Las Vegas address. It still goes to MGP Lessor LLC, but it's going to go to a New York address, which really brings us to the issue before the Casino Control Commission today, which is our request for approval of the amended and restated master lease and amended operating sublease. We need a determination in the narrow legal issue that the slightly modified buyout provision continues to comply with the Casino Control Act. And there was really only a technical change to the buyout provision. Currently, one of the currency that can be used in order to buy out the master landlord's interest in Borgata, if on the very slight chance that there would be an event where the master landlord wasn't qualified any longer. In the current lease, one of the currencies that can be used is operating units. There is in this chain of ownership of entities of MGP Growth Properties LLC, a limited partnership that issued limited partnership interest, a number of which are held by MGM Resorts International and its subsidiaries. That makes up MGM's 40% ownership in the MGM Growth Properties chain. Those OP units are going away as part of the merger, so you can no longer use those OP units as currency, if you would, to buy out the master landlord's interest in the Borgata facility. That's really just a technical change because it won't exist anymore after the merger. So again, all of the other provisions that are required by the Casino Control Act not only continue to be in the amended and restated master lease, but in fact, they're completely unchanged. So in sum, we request that the amended and stated master lease and the amended operating sublease be approved. I did review the draft resolution, very appreciative of having it in advance, significantly in advance yesterday, and having the opportunity to review it, and it is fine in form and substance. So with that, unless the commission has any questions, we simply request that the relief in the petition be granted. Thank you.
Thank you. Division?
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Tracy Richardson, Deputy Attorney General for the Division of Gaming Enforcement. As has been set forth here, this is a request for approval of an amended lease and amended sublease that deals with the real estate assets of Borgata. We filed a response on November 1st, noting no objection to the requested relief and also requesting that certain conditions be imposed to carry through conditions that the Commission had previously entered when the original lease documents were approved in 2016. As has been noted, the primary change to the documents is to modify the buyout provision of the lease in the event of a finding of unsuitability as to the landlord, and it would eliminate the option to pay for that interest in a number of operating partnership common units, as explained by Pat Madamba just now. The other statutory provisions of the lease remain in effect in that it remains a lease in writing, and all the parties to the lease as well as the sublease remain licensed either as casino service industry enterprise licensees, as to the landlord being MGP Lessor and the tenant being MGM Lessee, as has been explained, or as a casino licensee where Marina District Development Company remains as the sub tenant under the sublease. And the joint and several liability, as well as termination provisions, as well as the proposed modified buyout provision remain in effect in these documents. So we do not have an objection to modifying the lease documents as requested here. And we've also reviewed the draft resolution, requested minor non-substantive change to that staff is considering, and we have no objections otherwise to that resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Division.
Thank you. I would just indicate for the record, Michael Fabius, representing Vici, is on the call. He had been involved in early discussions, but is not, Vici is not a petitioner. To the extent that Mr. Fabius wishes to be heard, it would be subject to your permission, Mr. Chairman. Is there anything you wanted to say, Michael, or just observing?
Good morning, everyone. I'll just express our thanks and gratitude to the commission and the staff. Pat summarized the petition well. I'm available if there's questions.
Thank you, Michael. Are there any questions for council?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant the relief requested in the petition and approve the amended and restated master lease and the amended sublease based upon and to the extent set forth in the findings and rulings and subject to the conditions contained in the resolution.
Is there a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, councils.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In accordance with Resolution 2012-0903, the next closed session shall be held on Wednesday, December 8, 2021, at 9:30 a.m. in the Commission offices.
Thank you. This is the public participation portion of the meeting. Ms. Fauntleroy, do we have any comments?
Mr. Chairman, I have advised that we do not.
The public participation portion is now closed. Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?